I'm a one-man demo team, so there's a lot of stuff going on here, but hopefully we'll get through this without too many crashes or hitches. But you know, if we do, then that's also fun. Let's get this rolling. Well, let's see if we actually have a connection here. Maybe that will work better. Wireless technology. Yeah, that's hopefully good enough. Yeah, let's see if we can get this rolling. Audio. Yeah.
I want more!
So I'm assuming some of you have already played EvE. It's actually, hey! Good to hear there are some rabid fans in the group. It's been out for actually quite a while. It was launched in 2003, May. So it's over 3 years old. This year has actually been a very interesting year for EvE. We've gone through a massive growth spurt, and the game has been on a growth curve ever since it was released. So this year has been in particular interesting because we've had to go through massive hardware upgrades. What's interesting about EvE is that it's a single universe game. What I'm referring to, it's a massively multiplayer game, but it actually is truly massive. What I mean is that all the players are actually playing in the same universe. That means that when people log on, they're all playing in the same system. So you have the potential to meet anybody else that's playing the game. So this year, we've been setting a new world record almost every month in terms of peak concurrent users playing one single game. And we're up to over 30,000 people now. That was set now in September for people playing the game at the same time. And, thank you. And you have to wonder, how is that possible? And I know this is going to be interesting to you guys because I see the hardware that you're interested in. So I'm going to dive a little bit here into the hardware just because it is an interesting aspect of the game. The cluster actually running EvE at the moment is somewhere close to the position 400 in the list of the 500 largest supercomputers in the world. So we're actually talking about a game that's actually now making this list of top 500 superclusters in the world. And at the heart of the supercluster is actually a solid state hard drive. It's 128 gigs, and we had to get clearance from the US military to actually transport it out of Texas, where it's being made, to use it for our game. And I believe this was the first application of the hard drive outside of the military. So it really proves that gaming is pushing the boundaries in many areas of technology, not only graphics. I'm here in particular to talk about what's happening though in terms of graphics. About a year ago, it was pretty obvious to us that DirectX 10 was on the horizon, and that will bring with it a lot of interesting new features. The graphics engine in EvE was kind of finalized back in the year 2001, and you know, changed slightly, but the game launched in 2003, and ever since then, it's pretty much been the same graphics technology underneath. And that's back in the days of GeForce 256. So, without further ado, let's see if we can actually switch here to the game. Yes. So, what I'm showing you here is stuff that's never been seen before. This is stuff that we haven't put out yet. This is actually really fresh, so it might actually just blow up in my face. But that's a chance I'm willing to take, because I really wanted to fly out here all the way from Iceland to show this to you guys, because I know you're hardcore and you deserve it. We're actually having our annual fan fest for EvE, actually at the end of this week, up in Reykjavik. We have it every year. And we're expecting a turnout of 600 people from all over the world to actually see this. So you're actually getting a jump start on those guys. So I'm kind of treating the fans by actually showing it to you. But you know, yeah. I know I'm going to get blasted when I return on Saturday. But anyway, let's start looking at some of the stuff we're doing. So this is running on the GeForce 8800. And what's truly amazing about this new graphics card is, for us at least, is this balance of no longer being tied to a fixed number of vertex shaders and a fixed number of pixel types. That actually was becoming a huge problem for us, because as we went further down the line of investigating what kind of shader techniques did we want to apply, we quickly realized that all of our lighting, we wanted to do it as image-based lighting, not the classical dot product thing. That's what you can do in the vertex shader. So we ended up with a scenario where the vertex shader was pretty much, well, not doing much, but the pixel shader was sweating like crazy. Now with this new hardware, it's totally load balanced. So now all the work is just shifted to the shader units, and they're all working for the pixel shader. So we're actually getting great throughput on this. So I was going to go a little bit through what we're doing, if I can actually get this keyboard to work as well. which might be a stretch. See? Okay, there we go. So what we're seeing here is actually a side-by-side comparison. This is really what I wanted to show. Because it's really hard to show just some new graphics and say, hey, doesn't this look cool? Because it will look cool, because you have the whole package and it looks there, and it looks great, but you don't really have the comparisons. You're not really understanding how much of an advancement is this truly. So that's why I'm actually bringing out some of our dirty laundry, which is our old stuff, and showing actually how much things are changing. So this is actually
I know that one.
the ship, how it looks in EvE right now. And you know, it's not terrible, but in my opinion, it's absolutely heinous when I compare it to this new guy over here. Just the same ship. And if we actually turn on some of the effects, like the HDR for instance, see how the boosters actually fill in? Yeah, so that's floating point rendering, allowing us to do much better looking boosters, also allowing us to do a specular blue on the reflection coming back here. And this is all using, it's kind of a normal map-based approach, but it's actually beyond that, what we're doing. And to just show you, if I turn off the normal maps, this is what it looks with, you know, not that lighting algorithm running. And then we turn it back on. That's the difference. So it's actually a massive amount of difference in terms of detail. Now what's also really interesting about this is if we switch to wireframe, you notice that this model is actually not that dense in terms of polys. I definitely want to compare this to Adrian, which you saw here probably earlier today, and where the wireframe was so thick that you couldn't actually see through it. This is the total opposite. We're doing so much in the pixel shader that we're actually not having to spew out a lot of vertices. Why is this important? Well, it's really important in EvE because EvE is a game on a massive scale. And we're now at a level where we have fleet battles of 700 ships fighting in the same solar system. And at that point, I want the players still to have a semi-interactive play experience. Now to be able to do that, I really need to actually throw fewer polys in their faces. So that's basically what we're showing here. Now let's switch to another setup that I have here. So this is the new industrial ship, and side by side, as before, I'm going to try to get a better viewpoint. Nope. What's that? Did it die?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm getting attacked by a screensaver.
Oh crap! Shield boost.
Interesting. Anyway, okay. So here's another little tidbit of what's going on. So the art team at CCP is a dedicated bunch of detailed, obsessed lunatics. And so one of the things that has really been driving them up the wall is that when you're doing particle effects like these, the problem is that you're spewing out a lot of fire, you're spewing out a lot of smoke, it all gets clamped in the frame buffer, so the really brightness of your fire is just getting suffocated in the smoke. Now with HDR, that totally changes. The fire is now actually able to burn through the smoke, and so it's a pretty big difference. The other things that are happening here is that now we actually have proper glow. It's based on depth. It's actually kind of interesting that the amount of glow that you're seeing is a logarithmic relationship, and so we have that in there as well. Now, what you're seeing here is actually still running under DirectX 9. And this has been a hot topic in our community, is that when we announced that we were going to do an EvE Vista version, people got pretty upset. There was a lot of players in the community who had no desire to upgrade to Vista, at least not to begin with. They were actually going to wait for maybe Service Pack 2. Why would they do that? I'm not going to comment.
We're cheap.
Anyway, so we're faced with the scenario of investing massive amounts of time and money into rebuilding all 270 ships in EvE, applying totally new visual effects to them to be able to create the surface effects that we want. And then if we would only release it for Vista, it would actually be a small portion of the community that would actually be benefiting from all that work. So what we've actually done is that we've backported a lot of the stuff we've done for DirectX 9, and that's what you're seeing right here. So basically what I'm trying to say is that in DirectX 10, we're going to do even more stuff, but all this stuff you're seeing right here will actually be available for DirectX 9. Oh gosh. And we are hoping to put this out early next year. Definitely the DirectX 9 part. For Vista, yeah, probably as well too. Yeah.
Show us the Titan.
I'm sure you have some questions and I'm willing to take those, try to answer them the best I can.
Let's see a Titan.
It's working. I've got the mic for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask her a question.
Why is the array ship on fire?
Why is the ship on fire?
Why not?
I noticed that you guys put the clan tag on, or alliance tag on the actual
Oh, red.
ships. Yeah.
You wondering why red is on the ship?
Yes. Is that actually?
You know something?
Or not?
I don't know. This is great because when the artist was putting the ship together for me, I asked him the same question. Why are you putting red on it? And he said, well, I need to put an alliance tag on it. I can't put Band of Brothers because the theory is that everybody at CCT plays Band of Brothers. And I can't put the Ascendant Frontier either because those two alliances are engaged in this massive battle, which some of you might have heard. I mean, we're talking about an alliance of players. These two alliances together are almost 20,000 people. And they've been fighting now for over a year in our game. So what's happening actually right now is come every Sunday, I'm like, you know, stressing out because I know they're going to go at it. And the crazy part is that, you know, they flock to certain solar systems, they, you know, stage these huge fights, and they will actually kill nodes in our cluster right now, just because they're creating such a massive load. Now the good thing is they've actually started warning us ahead of time what they're going to do. So we've started allocating portions of the cluster just for their own little feuds. That's actually helping. But of course, at the same time, all of my engineering team is working around the clock to optimize and figure out why they're able actually to bring down entire nodes in the cluster. But it's part of the fact that in EvE now you can build up, you know, the player-owned structures. You know, you have the star bases and all these things. You have the sentry guns. So these larger alliances have set up pretty intricate systems to try to protect their turf. And so that's causing a massive load in certain areas for us. But red is just something that we picked. The artist decided it looked cool, so he put it. I hope nobody's offended. Yeah.
Do we have a question here?
I don't suppose we can see some Titans.
Titans!
Yeah. Well.
Titans!
Okay, so I'll tell you the sad story about that. Just before leaving, we went through a pretty massive code upgrade, and we broke all the shaders. So I actually looked at a Titan this morning, and it looks like crap. It's totally broken, so I can't show it to you. These are the only ships that I can show now because I just wanted to show the new content, so I can't show it to you. But next time, I'm definitely going to bring a Titan. And since you're mentioning the Titan, I also actually should bring that up, that we released an expansion pack, it was December last year, where we released the Titans, the capability to build a Titan. It was only 3 weeks ago that the first Titan was manufactured in EvE. So it took the community almost a year to make the first Titan. And that's simply because the resources, the money, the materials, the blueprints, everything you needed was such a massive undertaking. And it's the Ascendant Frontier actually that has the first confirmed Titan in the game. And they're just experimenting with it right now. You might have heard about the experiment with the Doomsday device. And once again, I'm not going to comment on that experiment.
Did it crash the node?
Yes.
It killed a lot of ships, some of their own.
Suckers!
Okay, we'll take one last question for you back here.
Yeah, the models look great, the ships and all. Why is the ship on fire in space? And why is the smoke like flowing up? Space?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we've had a lot of those debates in the office, and I actually remember even before the game went into beta, we had people writing on the forums exactly how the space flight was supposed to work. We even tried implementing some of that stuff, and it just wasn't fun, or it didn't look cool. But you're absolutely right. A lot of the stuff, some of the explosions and things like that, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, because there's not supposed to be any air there. But if you look at if you look at all, you know, sci-fi movies, they all do it. You know? Star Wars. Yeah. We can't say that they were wrong. I think they made the right decision. They made something that looked cool, and you know, I think people in general actually liked it. The one thing I also would like to add is that we're putting out our biggest expansion ever this Christmas, and it's called Revelations. So if any of you have already tried EvE and decided it wasn't for you, I encourage you to try it again. I will, however, say it's a tough game, and it's a really cruel environment, but if you get into it, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Thank you very much, Tom.
What the hell is that thing above it?
Can I get a woo? Woo!